Lagos City, good morning. It's raining out there. I hope you guys are staying dry. This is Business Express on Smooth 98.1 FM. I am Rotus, happily humble to be with you all today. I am joined by Taiwo. Taiwo, good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, Rotus. Good morning, Lagos.
Yes, thank you for joining us and thank you for braving that heavy rain to join us today. Lagos, you know the number is 0809 444 0981. Send in your messages. We're also on Twitter at Smooth 91 FM. We are also streaming live on YouTube, www.youtube.com/Smooth 91 FM. You should watch yesterday's broadcast where I was complaining about ads with Ayo before we went on. Lots of behind the scenes stuff with the YouTube page. All right, it's Tech Friday. Let us jump into it. Let's start with a message from Prince. Taiwo, I don't know if you remember, we discussed this a while back. Prince sent a message on WhatsApp a while back. He was asking what we think about the future of ride-sharing companies in Nigeria. We're talking about the issues in Lagos, especially with the NURTW and everything going on with OPay. But it seems like there's a new player that is rumored to be coming into the marketplace. So if the market is as tough as it is for ride-sharing companies, well, why are new players coming in? So this is a new company. Well, they're in a safe border, or is it safe border? Safe border. Thank you. I think they're from where? East Africa, Abi?
Uganda.
Uganda. Okay, Uganda. So what are your thoughts? I mean, of course, the stories around the company. First of all, they sent out a picture. I'll tweet the picture and we'll retweet it on the Smooth FM handle. They sent out on December 1st. They were like, "Happy New Month, Nigeria. Well, safe border is coming," or something like that. What are your thoughts? I mean, it looks like they're coming into the country. I understand they're in Uganda and Kenya, Abi?
Yes.
Yeah. So, are they coming in? And what are your thoughts on the marketplace and the fact that we have new entrants coming into the market as tough as it is?
Well, I thought they already started the operations here, which I mean the article also alluded to. But apparently, they have just been trying to lay the groundwork for their operations here.
Okay.
Incidentally, I don't think they're starting with Lagos. I think they're starting with Ibadan.
Okay.
And Abeokuta, Kaduna, and a few other maybe cities that are not Lagos or Abuja themselves. I think the market is I think there are opportunities in the marketplace. The question I have is in terms of the business in itself.
Okay.
And the environment within which we operate. And you're right, talking about look at what the NURTW, who have literally formed a parallel government,
right,
and determine how they want to
regulate them.
How they want to regulate them. I don't know under what authority. I don't know which law empowers them to be able to do that in the first instance. And then recently we found out that the police, or I don't know, the government or whoever, I don't even know who, have been impounding motorbikes of some of these guys in truckloads.
Yeah, so, I saw some of those pictures online as well.
So you begin to question yourself as an operator and say, look, how long can I sustain this, no matter how deep your pocket is? Because in the end, you must get closer to profitability sooner than later. And once you keep having all these issues, it just keeps driving a hole in your pocket.
Right.
Because it's going to keep you costing you money to get those things out operationally, and then the more they keep taking them and disrupting your operations, the more it affects your forecast, your financial forecast, and ultimately your plans for the business, your objectives. So, personally, I think they should start looking at other ways of doing the transportation or ride-sharing business in Lagos, particularly. I think they should look at other modes of transportation and how they can use their huge funds to be able to do those things there. I personally have an issue with the one passenger vehicular mode of transportation, or fewer passenger vehicular mode of transportation. We need bigger systems, bigger solutions, bigger vehicles that can ferry more people per time, because we don't have the road networks and our road, the state of our roads are deplorable. So what you need are bigger vehicles. You're talking of large buses, maybe some of like these bendy buses like they had in the UK and so on and so forth, even though they discontinued them.
Yeah.
So which were more like two buses joined together with like an expansion thing in the middle. And then to think of tram systems and then train systems. And ultimately, I think that would be the real deal. These guys are raising huge sums of money, and they're pumping into these motorbike thing, in themselves. Maybe other states outside of Lagos, maybe, but I don't see them really making money from it. I think it's just going to be a lost cause.
Interesting. But I'm glad you mentioned that they're actually not entering Lagos first. You think that was deliberate? The fact that they're targeting Ibadan and Kano and other cities before coming
For example,
to Lagos.
the guys you mentioned earlier, I think the OP guys or whatever it is, are all right. They're in other parts of the country as well.
Okay.
And the volumes they have, because I hear they have about 10,000 bikes around the country in total.
Yeah.
And maybe about 3,500 of those are already in Lagos alone. So the other bikes are in other parts of the country. So they're operational in places like Kaduna, I think Kano as well.
Yeah.
So say border going into second tier markets, I think would reduce the kind of competition they have in those places. Most probably they will have lower operating costs.
Yeah.
And ultimately it helps them test the model at a lower cost for them before they come into Lagos.
Okay, finally, what does it say about the market though that there are still new entrants coming in? Because I don't know if this will but the Safe Border doesn't look like they'll be the last ride-sharing company to enter here. There might be more. I mean, what do you think? What does it say despite the issues?
I think the demand is there.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, and people are looking for alternative means of transportation that is fast and efficient.
Yeah.
In that sense. And I don't doubt that these guys provide those solutions. The complex part is when you look at it on the whole, how many, if you want to ferry 20,000 people, you need 20,000 bikes to be on the road in Lagos. So if you want to do 20,000, so this is one of the targets of BRT several years ago when they started, was to move 20,000 people per hour in Lagos. So if you want to move 20,000 people per hour in Lagos using motorbikes, how many people would you be able to carry? How many bikes would you need? 20,000 bikes. So imagine 20,000 bikes operating
on the roads
on a particular route every hour. And the kind of chaos it would be. But if you were to use buses that would take 40 people, you'd only need 500 of those buses.
Okay, well I have a follow up, but we will spend too much time on this topic. But good thoughts. But you said some very, very interesting things on that. Let's see, we already have messages here. Benga Kama, I agree with your guest that we should have that's Taiwo. We should have transportation solutions that can move more than one person from one location to another at a time. How many bikes can move thousands of people in Lagos? Okay, so Benga is echoing your thoughts. Benga also says that's Benga Kamo on WhatsApp. Rotus, so online purchases will be taxed by FIRS according to its chairman, Mr. Fowler, by January. This taxation drive is becoming tougher. Of course, they've passed the VAT is now 7.5%, I believe. They've passed that, and the online thing is another talk. Look, Nigeria needs money. They haven't approved President Buhari's 29 billion. I believe they haven't approved it yet, but it looks like they might. I think they should be doing that soon. Prince sends a message up on this NURTW issue. How are they different from other professional bodies? That's a good question. I don't want to go into the NURTW this morning. Those folks.
No, the question isn't about that. The question is under what authority do they have other businesses stopping them from operating? So is there a law that actually puts NURTW that actually says they can operate? For example, let's take APCON. APCON is actually a federal government, is a government regulatory agency. Right. Only regulators actually have the power to be able to stop these things. There must be an act or law that is passed that actually empowers them to be able to do that.
Because they're a union.
So a union is a union, but so they don't have the rights to stop people from doing business. You can choose to be a member of that union, or you can choose not to be a member of the union. But you cannot choose to be a member of APCON or not be a member of APCON. If you're going to practice those things within APCON's purview, you have to be a member of APCON. So they will go into offices and they would show you what the law says. And they actually, I mean, they can legally arrest you. They can legally put those things into it. What law? Because if there's a law, then I don't think that the governor of Oyo State, who prescribed NURTW in Oyo State, would have been able to do that.
Right. It's incredible. I mean, again, for those who don't know, there was the OPE signed an agreement. There were pictures of it with Mr. MC, what's his name, signing an agreement with the union. It's like you've already signed an agreement with Lagos State government. Why are you now signing another agreement with the union?
So they can choose to be part of the union. That's up to them at the end of the day. But you can't. It's like Labour Congress. You have a right to. The law allows you to join any association, to be a member of any association in the country. Yes. But not every worker is a member of the Nigerian Labour Congress.
Right.
That's the truth.
Good point.
So, but NLC can then not go and stop me because I'm not a member of NLC or whatever it is there, and then go and stop my operations because and start demanding from me. They don't have the right to do that.
Good point. Pastor Oluwatade sent a message here. Good morning, my people in the house. It baffles me that Nigerians are about the most brilliant Africans, if not humans, but of what use is that brilliance if we can't ensure Nigeria works as a collective progressive entity? Taiwo, why can't we work as a collective progressive entity as brilliant
Let's
as
talk about this. Let's talk about this next story, and then move on. Otherwise,
all right.
We'll keep talking
Thank
about
you, Pastor Luazade, for your message. All right. Next up, Instagram will now ask new users to provide their age. This a shout out to Prof. Yomi the Prof, who he tagged me on this on Twitter yesterday, and he put a tweet. His tweet said, "Finally." So it looks like he's very he's really pushing. He's been pushing for age notifications on social media, I think, to protect younger children and so on. What do you think about the move that Instagram has made for new users? Now, they actually, they used to put I think now they're asking specifically for a date of birth when you
before they used
join.
to say confirm whether you're older than 13 or not.
Right.
But now they're asking you to put in your date of birth,
right,
as a new user.
Right.
In that sense. Honestly, I think it's more semantics than any other thing, because people can put in any age. There's no way for them to verify or validate whether
right,
it's true
the age, right.
So you can put anything you want to put there. A 10-year-old can go there and put it there and say that he's 15 years old.
Right.
There's no way they will ever know.
Gotcha.
Because they don't even encourage you to use your real name. They don't ask for any real form of identity to verify or validate your identity. Nothing. So literally, what stops? There are a lot of people who are there on Instagram under false identities. So
yeah. I got you. Okay, but well, I mean, it's still a move. Goke from the UK. NURTW is a union and not a regulatory agency. It's just a power show by them. Benga Kamo again. NURTW uses strong arm tactics. That's what makes them different from other bodies. They control the motor parks from where the bikes operate. I've seen them in action. Those guys. I will say this though. NURTW's tax system is pretty efficient. We talked about taxing the informal economy. They tax Okadas, they tax
maybe
kekes.
The government should learn from that.
I know, right? But then it's a volume thing because their guys are like everywhere collecting from these folks. So, again, they do as much as, with strong arm taxes, they're still... let's move on to broadband. This is a story from Business Day. Nigeria's delayed 6-year national plan to raise broadband penetration by 66%. They have a new plan now, Taiwo. The former plan was from 2013 to 2018, Abi. They said they were supposed to achieve 30% broadband penetration. Did that happen?
Well, I'd read somewhere at some point that was something that was achieved or was close to that were in the 30s.
Yeah.
But there's a difference, so that's the misnomer here. When we talk about broadband penetration in Nigeria, most of the time we tend to forget that it's the quote unquote wireless based on the mobile operators themselves there, and that's not necessarily that's not real broadband. I mean, it's not
counting mobile access. And
in terms of how like that, in that sense. So yes, people have access to the internet, but real broadband, for what it is actually talking about the fixed version of broadband,
the fiber, the cables in the ground.
Because it's fiber optics. Why do people talk about fiber optics? It's actually transmitting data through light signals, and the fidelity is the same from the very beginning of the origination of the signal to the end where it terminates that signal, which means if you send something across from here all the way to Brazil through a fiber optic connection, in that sense, the integrity of that data remains same unless it is truncated by some other external factor, in that sense. It's not as susceptible to interference and a lot of other things because of this. A lot of these things, for example, are laid under the sea, under the ocean, and things like that and they're protected under that. So fiber optics ensures a lot of there's a greater degree of efficiency, greater degree of reliability, that comes with it at the end of the day. And I dare say, I said this at a forum, while we were collecting huge tariffs, from these on operators as license fees, what we should have done is given them a rebate. So say $400 million is what we wanted to collect for a license fee. And say, look, pay $50 million, the remaining $350 million, use it to lay these fiber optic cables, create a backbone, which we have to a large extent. What we don't have is actually fiber to home, last mile connectivity, which is fiber to homes, fiber to offices. That's where we struggle. We see a lot of people that are doing it right now, in that sense. And then they would have championed them to do that. And then the government would have found a way to share some of those proceeds with the states.
Okay.
which is why the states keep insisting and talking about things like right of way,
Right.
which means you can't come and be digging the road in my city because you want to lay your cable. You need to pay.
Right.
So when is the payments the state is asking for is the right to dig.
Right.
Then you still have to pay to dig. Then you still have to buy the materials to lay and do all of those things like that. Then you still have to set up your operations behind it there.
So it makes everything expensive.
It just makes it expensive.
Yeah.
So if it's a national policy, then it should carry all stakeholders along. It can't be something that just started in Abuja and want to force it down the throats of the states there. If they will rebel, if I'm a state governor, I will tell you no, because I didn't partake of the proceeds. What happened to all the monies that were raised through all those license regimes? Each of these telcos has paid what, equivalent of $400 million.
Right. Yeah.
And getting license fees from first 2G GSM all the way to 4G they have now. We don't even know how much they're paying for 5G license.
Yeah.
So we need to think long term and look about the implications of these things there. It's not just enough to just talk about or just having one policy and then having all these features, because they're not even releasing any real stats or any real data for us to follow up on.
Yeah, exactly. It's been said that the NCC hasn't really dropped. So you're not you're not that optimistic about this new plan, because it's always a plan. They always keep shifting the goalposts. After a plan expires,
Again,
a new plan.
Like I always say, at the end of the day, the government is meant to create an enabling environment. The government is father to all. What the government needs to do is to encourage the private sector to take the lead in these initiatives.
Yeah.
That's it.
Right. Finish.
And they will create the options and the solutions.
They'll carry it.
They'll carry it through. They will fund it. They
Yeah.
will do whatever, as long as they have the assurances that nothing is just going to change midway.
Gotcha. Yinka sends in a message here. It says, right of way claims coming from state governors that cannot generate 1 billion. I think it's talking about 1 billion naira in IGR. Left to me, some states should just have administrators appointed from Abuja. Yinka, always harsh. Let's real quick. Ayo is giving me hand signals. Yep. Oh boy. All right. Well, we're going to talk about EdTech. We're also going to talk about, is it Migos or Mygo raising?
I don't know what they're called now.
Yeah, it was formerly Minds, Abi.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. We're run out of time, but look, I appreciate the messages. Thank you all for tuning in. Taiwo, thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Lots of interesting stuff to talk about on Monday on Business Express. I will see you guys next week. Have a great weekend.
Well done.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Probably the okay. We still had 8 seconds extra, but not bad at all.
8 seconds from